Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets to creating some absolutely incredible images with, believe it or not, just a few words. We're going to turn your ideas into visual reality. Okay, let's just dive right in. On the left, you see what happens with a super simple prompt. I mean, it's a car, yeah, but look at the right. Now that is the magic of a great detailed prompt. We've gone from just a generic idea to a specific, stylized, and, frankly, awesome vision. That's the power we're going to tap into today. So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, then move into refining your ideas, unlock a whole toolkit of pro-level tricks, and finish up with some really cool creative techniques. Let's do it. All right, so here's the thing. Every single great prompt, it doesn't matter how simple or complex it is, it's built on a core formula. Nailing this is absolutely the most important first step. First up, you've got your subject. This is the heart of your image, yeah? What is the one thing you have to see? Is it a person, an object, a landscape? Be crystal clear. In this case, our subject is a modern apartment building. Right, but a subject by itself is just kind of floating in space. You need to give it context. Where is this thing? What's going on around it? By adding surrounded by skyscrapers, suddenly our building has a home. It's in a world. And finally, you bring it all home with style. This is where you tell the AI how to make the image. Do you want it to look like a photo, a painting, a simple sketch? You can be general, or as we'll see in a bit, you can get crazy specific. Subject, context, style. That's your foundation. Oh, and just a quick technical note to keep in the back of your mind. You've got a maximum of 480 tokens to play with. That is plenty of space to get descriptive, but, it's always good to be clear and concise. Now listen, getting the perfect image on the very first try, it almost never happens. The real art here is in the refinement, in evolving your idea. It's like you're having a creative conversation with the AI. And check this out, because this slide shows that process perfectly. We start with a nice, simple idea. It's fine, but we can make it better, so in step 2 we add from lighting, a time of day, golden hour, and boom, the whole mood changes. Then, for the final touch, a little detail, red wildflowers, and that pop of color just brings the whole thing to life. See, each step gets you closer and closer to what's in your head. Okay, let's get into the Pro Toolkit. This is where you go from just being a user to being the director. You're going to use specific keywords to get really precise control over that final image. So, if you're aiming for something that looks super realistic, like a real photo, your secret weapon is to speak the language of photography. The AI totally gets these terms, and they can make a massive difference. First off, you can control how close the camera is. Do you want to get right up in there with an intimate, detailed close-up? Or do you want to pull back for a zoomed-out shot that shows more of the scene? You get to decide the distance. And wow, look at this. This is the perfect example of the power of lighting. It's the same chair, right? But one uses natural lighting, and it feels all soft and inviting. The other one, dramatic lighting. You get high contrast, deep shadows, a totally different, more intense mood. Same subject, different story, just by changing one word. And the toolkit is deep. I mean, you can specify the camera's position. Are we looking down with an aerial shot or looking up from below? You can mimic camera settings like motion blur, pick specific lenses like a macro or fisheye, and even tell it what kind of film to use, like a Polaroid or classic black and white. Okay, so we've mastered reality. Now, let's break it. Let's step away from photography and jump into pure imagination, where the regular rules just don't apply. You can kick things off simply, a painting of, or a sketch of. But this is where you can get really wild. You can ask for something to be made of cheese, or define a shape, like something in the shape of a bird. Or you can reach back through art history and ask for something in the style of pop art. The sky's the limit. Here's a simple but super powerful trick. You can just ask for a better image. Look at the left, a basic prompt. Now look at the right. We added quality boosters like 4K, HDR, beautiful, and even taken by a professional photographer. These are like signals to the AI telling it you want the high-end, polished professional version. All right, we've got the core formula, we've got the Pro Toolkit. Now for a couple of really cool special techniques that can add that perfect finishing touch to your work. Yep, you heard that right. You can ask the AI to put text directly into your images. This is amazing for things like making posters, logos, book covers, basically any design that needs to communicate with words.
And when you're using this feature, there's just one little number you gotta keep in your head.
To get the best, cleanest results, you're going to want to keep your text to 25 characters or less. It just helps the AI draw the letters really clearly without making any mistakes. And finally, let's talk about the frame. You are not locked into a square. You get to choose the shape of your canvas. You can go with the classic square, or a widescreen for those epic landscapes, or a portrait mode for, well, portraits. Choosing the right aspect ratio is a huge part of telling a great visual story. Whoa, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So before we wrap this up, let's do a super quick recap of the big ideas that will let you create pretty much anything you can dream up. Always start with that core formula: subject, context, and style. But don't just stop there. Iterate, refine your prompt, add more and more detail. Then dive into that Pro Toolkit to get precise control. And honestly, the most important thing, experiment. The absolute best results come from trying weird, new combinations. So there you have it. You now have the language to talk to this incredibly powerful creative partner. This is your canvas. These prompts are your paintbrush. We honestly cannot wait to see what worlds you create.